As most of you know by now, I read the Wall Street Journal at home every day. It's not that I have a very sophisticated understanding of finances, but I do get smarter every day I read about something going on in the world that affects business. Now, lots of things I read about are way beyond my current level of knowledge, so I have to dig in a little. It's like taking a college course if I start on the search for knowledge about something the paper writes about. Today, the review and outlook section of the opinion page wrote about, quote, the political war on cash. The writers started me off with the assertion that the policymakers in Europe and the US want to make it harder for we mere mortals to actually hold on to our cash, the actual paper currency. Okay, now why is that an issue? Seems currency in large denominations makes it easier to be a crook. Both the tax dodgers and the criminal element go about their business with cash that can't be traced easily. Now, I remember when we got rid of the $500, the $1,000, and the $10,000 bills. Now the $100 bill could be in jeopardy. These denominations are now worth more to hobbyists than their face value. But to go on, seems the elites are fearful that holders of actual currency may undermine the plan to actually go to negative interest rates. Now, what does that mean? Well, it seems that negative rates are a tax on deposits with banks, with the goal of prodding depositors to remove cash and spend it to increase economic demand. If you could take your deposits out in large bills, you could store them easily in your home safe. But if you could only get your money in $10 bills, it wouldn't be that easy to store the tens of thousands we all have in the bank, drawing no interest rates to speak of. The Wall Street Journal article goes on to talk about another financial term I had no idea existed, and that would be the gray market. That's where transactions are off the books. You know, the pay me in cash ploy. The gross domestic product in some European countries is 20% gray market. And those governments would love to tax that activity. All this about the US dollar got me digging into the subject of where the dollar stands worldwide. The term US dollar rate is the description of how our money stands up to the rest of the world's currencies. The dollar is, in fact, the world's reserve currency, meaning of the 185 currencies that exist worldwide, only a few are accepted for most international transactions, and that would be the US dollar, the euro, and the Japanese yen. But the dollar is the most widely used. Around $580 billion in US bills are being used outside of the United States. Now, that's 65% of all the denominated bills, including 75% of the $100 bills, 55% of the $50, and 60% of the $20 bills. I found it very interesting to know that most of these bills are being used in the former Soviet Union countries and in Latin America. The dollar rate is extremely important to those who deal with foreign exchange. The dollar's exchange rate tells you how much a dollar is worth in foreign currency and vice versa. If you plan on going to Canada, you should know that one US dollar is worth $1.03 Canadian. But the rates are in constant movement as the daily trading of currency takes place at the foreign exchange market known as the Forex. If you are a business person, you need to know how to minimize the risk of currency fluctuations in parts of the world you do business in. So you have to study up on the value of the US dollar and the power of the dollar. Great subjects to keep you awake at night or not. Now, I wonder what the effect would be if our politicians got their way and our cash supply got lowered. Now, we law-abiding citizens need the legitimate transactions we do all day to be easy without our having to pay banking fees or credit card processing fees. Cash is also used by the countless lower-income folks who don't even have banking accounts. There was a time I criticized my wife for hoarding change in her many jars, using the argument that all the money we have hiding in the house should be at the bank, earning interest. Of course, that argument doesn't work anymore. So we are collecting still. If you have lots of old US coins, put a bunch on a scale and measure the difference in weight, the old currency versus the new. If the government takes any more metal out of our coins, they will drift away right out of your hand into the ozone. Thank you for watching, and God bless.
Find us on Cox Channel 15 or Verizon Channel 34, Saturday at 4 p.m. or Sunday at 10 a.m. Find us on the web at www.gatsbyproject.com/Common Sense Rhode Island. Like us on Facebook at Common Sense RI, and follow us on Twitter at @CommonSenseRI.